Hey, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Stepping Up and Stepping Out, making 2021 your best year yet. And I know in some cases that requires a lot of extra effort. In some cases, it doesn't. Some people are on a flow and others are on a meandering pathway, and some are like up against the wall. And we're all in different places in our lives on the planet, wherever we are, whatever we're doing. And the purpose of this program, Stepping Up and Stepping Out, making 2021 your best year yet, and how it came about is when I was reviewing my New Year's resolutions 5 years ago. Most people have them. And you might be asking, what does New Year's resolution have to do with stepping up and stepping out, making 2021 your best year yet? Well, often we recycle our goals because we did not make it the year before, or the year before, or the year before that. And what I discovered on the full moon, the bright light in the sky, and if it's not in my sky lit up bright, or if it's not in your sky lit up and bright, it's in someone's sky or in someone's social media doing a post with a big, beautiful full moon. And there's always images of full moons every full moon on most social media platforms. So if you don't see it in your local area, then you'll probably see it online. And why is it important that you see it? Because it is a switch. When I first did this program in 2017, the full moon was just 3 weeks, just on the edge of 3 weeks after the new year. So I got lucky on that. And our cycle of habits is generally around 3 weeks. But regardless of all those details, measurements, the bottom line is this is a tool. You can use the tools around us, the ones that are gifts. I mean, we don't need a phone app. We don't need to even look at the calendar. But when everyone is celebrating the new year, right? So we're doing our goals and we're doing what we're going to change, how we're going to change it, what we're going to do. We're here. It's August, the full moon in August. And when you look back, if you haven't used this tool, I've added every 2 weeks, really every 15, 14 days, on the new moon and the full moon. They're stepping up and stepping out because we don't want to get past 2 weeks. We want to keep our energy up and we want to keep our focus. And if we're starting to get caught up in life and forget about what we had set out at the beginning of the year, then if you've engaged since the beginning of the year, then you've been nudged about 13 times, and this is the 14th time in the year to remind you to go back and look at your goals, your desires, the things that you wanted to change in your life that you didn't change before. Maybe you changed it, now you want to level it up again. About fitness, your health, your wealth, your mental being, your capacity to live with you, to live within our moment without feeling anxiety and stressed and just being able to really live our lives in a comfortable way, but yet motivated and inspired by others, yes, but most importantly, by ourself. Our true inner message that is what we are here on this planet for, what our things are, what and they change from time to time, what our passions are, what it is that we really feel is important in our life that we want to do. And I know some people have gone years and years and years and they haven't made that change or improved. I'm here in Thailand at Samut Prakan, and I went for a swim in the ocean this morning. I actually, when I got up, the moon was starting to set last night. I saw the sunset and the moon rise and the sunset, and I was in the ocean swimming, and I'm seeing like both. And just energetic to the point that sleep I some of us on the full moon, the energy is really intense. And what's the benefit of that? On the full moon, sometimes the new moon, pretty intense, but notably the full moon. And when we have actually, I had extra time. I tried to sleep, I didn't sleep, I got back up and I felt the breeze, the warm breeze, and I did some work. I did some contemplation. I did some looking at my notes and thinking about looking out at the full moon and feeling that energy and making sure, checking in on myself. So that's a little hidden benefit in there, right? The energy of the moon is so high. Every full moon, it's a known fact that on the full moon, people's emotions are elevated in some cases, maybe not the best way that we would like to, but in a lot of cases, we're like overly excited. And the best thing to do is to capture and not waste that energy or say, oh my gosh, I couldn't sleep. I felt so bad. I tossed, I turned. No, get up and plug that energy in for an hour or two until you get a little sleepy. Then go to bed and you'll wake up even more refreshed. Why? Because I know when I am engaged with what it is that I'm interested in, and I do it up until the evening because it's what I like to do. I don't call it work because it's like what I'm wanting to do, how I'm doing it, when I'm doing what I'm driven internally connected to myself. And when I do that, and I hope you and I would guess others, we take that to the time before we go to bed. And I don't know about you, but I know I wake up earlier. I wake up feeling better, more alive, more charged. And that goes into the day, launching a better day. So this is not like just one thing going on here. And I really want you to think about the power of what's parallel leveraging. You can apply that to anything. Couldn't sleep, get up, use that energy, expel that energy in maybe planning what you're going to do in the next 5 days. If it's fitness, if it's finance, if you haven't already done that, or how you're going to spend your week off, if that's what you have. But use the time, capture the energy, and manage your excitement and direct it. And that's where the mind management part of stepping up and stepping out comes in, which leads us to, if you're have a little blockage and it's like you don't see beyond and you're not sure, so you don't act because you don't know. But that's, for me, the exciting part. I don't know what lies beyond my horizon, but I know if I take positive actions in my fitness, my health, my wealth, my diet, my rest, that my life will change for the better, always. So embrace the unknown. Embrace the unknown. And understand that when you look backwards, don't hang on to the past and look at your horizon. What lies in front of you as possibilities, as the unknown? That's always driven me and excited me in my life. And that's what's got me to over 100 countries, because I wanted to know firsthand. You can read what somebody else saw. Somebody else is not you, and you respect their opinion, you respect their time and what they did and how they did it. But I'll tell you what, how people see things and analyze things and give you feedback. And so you go online and you go and you look for someone's opinion of a restaurant. And you went to that restaurant, and there's like 5 people that really like that restaurant. And you got to that restaurant, and you're like, really? Why? Why? What is it that they like? Maybe the server was really nice, but the food or maybe the atmosphere could be an off night. Who knows? However, I always say firsthand, firsthand, giving my money away for causes, I stopped putting a third and a fourth party in between me. And when I was in West Africa unloading Hope products, which were bags of flour, not for sale, stamped all over the bags, loading it on the dock. And there's the guys on the dock wheeling and dealing, selling what was not supposed to be sold, your gift, my gift to the African people. And I said, never again. I shall do it myself directly. I know that's not always possible, but guess what? It's beyond the horizon. That adds dimension to our lives, excitement, and things like, I know some people want to be like really safe, but tell me, they want a secure job. What does that mean? For all the people, for all the past decades, says, oh yeah, I got to get a secure job. I'm going to work 20 years. I'm going to retire. I'm going to have this nest egg. And so many things happen. So just be prepared, but get out. And most importantly, make sure you engage in the moment, in the future, in the unknown, because that's where the rewards are. You find them. And sometimes the known, I'm not saying that it's only what's beyond the horizon, but I'm saying what is beyond the horizon is the unknown, the things that we didn't know existed. And make sure you check it for yourself. So much online. I mean, it was for a while. For I don't know, I'll go back 3 or 4 years and beyond. Before that, that online was reliable information. Today, I can't hardly believe a thing. Even someone talking, you don't know if it's a holograph anymore. Anymore. It, like, in a way, kind of freaks me out, but in another way, it's like tells me that I better rely on me, and you need to rely on you. I'm only here to kick and slap and share some tough love and caring. I feel very grateful that I have the time to be here. Because I'm doing international, I'm actually an hour behind my schedule, because I've got team here, team there, team around the world, and I kind of mixed up my clocks. And but I'm here, and I'm fortunate that I can share. So no matter what has been the past, and what you think about the future, I want to add and give you one tool today. One tool. I don't need to give you three, five, seven, one. And this one tool is really tough to master. So, what I suggest is that no matter what your mind says, and you can prove it to yourself, that your expectations must not be, oh, that figures. This always happens to me. And it is not an uplifting, positive, useful thing. And there you go, kind of beating yourself on the head again because you are stacking up all the things of expectation because of the past, all the things that happened that weren't so good, and oh, woe is me. So I'm here to say, no, no is me. No to the woe. Okay. No to the woes of my life. And you want to, some don't. But I think most do want a more comfortable, more enjoyable, more energized, happier, exciting life overall. I mean, I know I wake up in the day and I sometimes I'll just sit for an hour in silence and feel the breeze and listen to the birds and connect with the moment. And I'll tell you, that is very powerful for me. I spent many actually days, weeks, months in the middle, years in the middle of the ocean where there is nothing, yet there is everything. And I just walking, looking at the trees and the birds, and I mean, I just get so uplifted. I can't explain it. This connection in this beauty that I feel in the connection of life. And in the noisy world that we're in, I've been shutting my phone off for 36 hours these days. I just, enough, for the reasons I just mentioned earlier, that I looking and reading, and I just can't believe some of the things I'm reading. I can't waste my time anymore. I can go to what I consider reliable, and I can check on the ground locally, like who's doing what and how is this real and what's going on. I just got to disconnect with it because it's not serving me. And if it's not serving you, please just spend more time in silence. And I know sometimes for some people it's really uncomfortable. And there was a time where it was really uncomfortable for me, but it didn't matter because I was out in the middle of the ocean. And that's where I discovered that, well, you got to let go and let God, or let go and let the universe, and let go and know and expect. I'm back to the expectation that you want only to expect the best to happen. And now my that figures is like this. And I maybe have worn this out a little bit, but it's just about parking because I think anyone who's got a car, which many people do, and they are driving and trying to find a place to park, and it's a busy place, which today it's probably not. And so you can expect easier parking. But in general, when we start expecting the best to happen, people show up, things show up, money shows up, opportunities for fitness and food and diet show up. They start to appear magically because of the energy that we've shifted. It requires a shift of a mindset. There's the book, what is called The Law of, well, The Secret, right? On the law of abundance. I never read it, but I have a website called The Secret, the Gallery of Secrets. And I had a store in England called the Gallery of Secrets. And I had learned enough secrets to understand the essence of the book. And from what I understand and what I've read is like, well, all these people started to badmouth it because it didn't work. But the bottom line is they didn't work it. Because if you have any doubt, this is the hardest part. And that's why I'm only giving you one thing: to pump up your expectations for positivity, good things. Now, things show up that we perceive as like, well, that's not what I wanted. Ha. Well, maybe it isn't what you wanted, but that's what you got to get you to where you want to go. Because sometimes the things we ask for, we deserve better. And we don't get what we ask for because there's something much better waiting for us. There always is. Always. It's like a law of life. We're seeking, trying, pushing, putting the energy out there. I mean, really doing it like from your, it's not like you have to shift into this higher energy space, but you have to connect with what it is that you love or really want to do in life. And if you're not really sure, because there's so much noise and we get distracted and we lose who we are inside. And I think that's the distraction of the phone, the computer, and oh, do this, do that, do this, flipping through the phone and seeing all this stuff, and none of it really matters until you stop and find the thing that engages you and says, whoa, that really inspired me, and stop and do a deeper dive with that person, that thing, that message, because that is the thing that's going to connect you with you to get you to the best you that you can be and get that level of expectation to where you deserve it. It's here for us. And you got to work at it. You got to work at it. I mean, I was told I listened to Deepak Chopra, who's rather advanced today. And I listened to his tape, one tape. And he, in that cassette tape, he sells it as a pack. And there was this one condensed thing. And cassette tape, I still have it because I have a Land Rover that I still use a cassette tape, but I find it online. And it is this 7 things that you do, laws of success, right? But one is key. You do the work. You connect with yourself and make sure it's you, that what you're doing is you. And certainly sometimes it's the goal. Doing the thing can not be what we want to do, but it's what we must and need to do for the best. And we get into, we've got that goal out in front of us, right? Back to the goals, back to the dreams, the things that you want to do. You've got that thing. And we have to do these jobs, this work, to get there. And that's part of life, because we're learning all along the way. The things that look like they're a disaster or they are challenges, or it's a not a good thing, it's a less than good thing, but it's actually good for us because it's called a learning curve. Sometimes, people are, maybe they work too hard and maybe they're spinning their wheels, but maybe not. But they're just working too hard and they're working themselves ill or doing something that's going to make them unwell. And it happens to a lot of people. It happens to all of us, actually, that in one way or another, that we get stopped if we don't know enough, and we're on a pathway and we get burned out, or we get stopped in our path by some surprise, comfortable or uncomfortable, a gift that we don't recognize. We come as a I'll quote it, as a bad thing or a less than useful thing, and I have to call it a bad thing to connect with some people in our life happened and everything fell apart. Well, that lesson is for us to stop and step back. I mean, I see online, I'm burned out. I mean, I'm working at this program so hard, so hard, so hard because I got to get this and I got to do this, and I'm burned out. And I'm like, well, I mean, we all been there, or a lot of us have. And when we get stopped and we have to lay back and lay down for 2 or 3 days or something, or 4 or a week, get recharged, or we get ill because of too much stress, then we better take note. And that time is that time to connect that I'm talking about. And if you won't take that, somehow it will be gifted to you, and in a way that you may not necessarily find enjoyable or comfortable, but it's got to happen. So we have to learn our lessons along the pathway. And we can do it several different ways. And what I learned from Deepak Chopra was that you do the work. You do everything you're supposed to do to get what it is that you're doing, and then sit back and let the universe work for you. But if you're doing physical fitness things or something, you want to not overdo it, and you don't want to try to do too much at one time and start really hurting bad. But pain isn't bad every now and then. We stretch ourselves, we feel our muscles because we maybe swam an extra half a mile today, and we swam more intensely, not so leisurely, and got a real kind of a burn on, if you will. Uh, and then stopping and just realizing, maybe if you're in the water, you're doing some healing things. The sun's there, the moon, the sun, stars, whatever, whenever you choose it. But find your space. Sorry to get off on my space, but that's what I've been able to connect with. So, any challenge that you've had or you're in, that we can recover from it. We can fix it. We analyze it, but don't overthink it. That we can get away from it and leave it behind. Like if it's an anchor holding us, we cut the anchors of the past, something that affected us, that stopped us. I tried this project, it didn't work. Or I didn't get the results that I was supposed to, but I learned all along the way. Now maybe I'm supposed to do something different. Okay. And to read the signposts, really important. I learned so hard. a stop sign, right? If we don't stop at the stop sign, there's a price sometimes. If we don't slow at the yellow light, there's a price sometimes. And if we don't go on the green lights, there's a price sometimes, probably every time, but not every time, but enough times to get our attention. So capture the thought. What lies beyond the horizon? And if you're not sure, what could lie? I mean, your luck is creating your luck by doing the things that you do. You can plan and plan. So many plans get shook up, bent out of shape, but embrace and sit back, observe, and find the value in every lesson that didn't come and use it. Use it, stack it, use it, and use it with positivity. Approach any road stop sign, construction, whatever detour in your life as a positive thing, because it is. And use it in such a way that you evaluate that it's not a bad thing. It's actually, ask the question, what is useful about this that I did not recognize? And ask the question. Keep asking that question, not like, oh, that figures, why does this always happen to me? The bad stuff, right? Or the less than good, but it's all good. And you've got to flip it by asking, what is the good in here? What is the seed of opportunity? What is useful from this situation? Take it away, leave the rest behind, and stack them up every day or every week or every month or every year. Stack those things up and focus on those things that you pull away. It may take a week, it may take a year, it may take a month, but it doesn't matter, because it shall reveal itself. These are the gifts from the universe, from God, from a higher power. So, how many people? I mean, somebody always knows somebody who's recovered from a business bankruptcy, or from bad drugs or alcohol, or from physical challenges, or from being overweight. They got fit, right? So it's absolutely possible to recover from any challenge, any challenge. Then we go way beyond our perceived current day perceived limitations. I say go for it and ask the question, what is good about this situation I didn't recognize? When the good comes, it will come when it comes. And expect nothing but the best to happen, and it will. And regardless of what's going on around you, hold that at your core, address everything, and raise your energy, and that'll spill off so other people aren't feeling so bad, because you're knowing, you are now in a knowing state that whatever's going on is a good thing. No matter what, it's a good thing for us, the people, myself, my friends, my family, that we go through this and we find along the way the greatness in each challenge, stack it up, use it, and bring it out to make your day and live your day in a positive, high expectation, positivity in a high expectation way. This is Peter Stone stepping up and stepping out on this full moon. Engage in the energy, engage in those things that you wanted to do. It doesn't matter so much if it was the New Year resolution or not. You could have just discovered something this month, the month before, but maybe it is. You want to go back to your New Year's resolutions, or go back to any resolutions or goals, desires, or dreams that you shall not give up on. It's Peter Stone saying, expect the best to happen, and it will. I'll see you on the new moon.